This is entitled El Corrido de los Ángeles de Uvalde. Los árboles de Uvalde se doblan con el viento y cuando esas ramas se quiebran en mi corazón lo siento.
Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to sing this corrido about the tragedy that happened in Uvalde, Texas. On May 24th in the year 2022,
it's part of the Mexican, the Hispanic culture because when a tragedy does happen, the first thing we do is that we unite. That's the first thing that we do. Then the next thing that we do is we start sharing stories. Music does heal. Un monstruo perturbado llegó a la oscuridad.
Songs are stories, ballads that we've told, and this is how generations have maintained historical documentation through song. Corridos do that. Corridos are so specific. They can record massacres, train accidents. We always come together. Together we heal and overcome. So let us say our prayers for the familias, for the brave teachers, and for the angels of Uvalde.
Los ángeles de Uvalde ahora vuelan por el cielo y cuando ellos me hablan en mi corazón lo siento. Gracias.
The families whose lives were torn apart here 1 year ago are writing their own story, turning those thoughts and prayers into action, going to our state's capital and demanding changes to gun laws.
Really look at the people that you're voting in to office because it could potentially save your child's life.
Yes, I would encourage people to go out and vote for politicians who are in favor of gun control. You might not agree with everything that politician stands for, but gun violence is the #1 killer of children. So it should be your priority above all else.
The kids' safety should be our priority.
I don't ever wish this upon anybody, and that's why we fight so much for the laws to change or whatever, because it's hard to be on this side. It is very hard, and we don't want nobody else to be on this side. It's the hardest thing. Yes, you can lose your mother, your grandmother, your uncle, your aunt, but when it's actually your own child, that is by far the hardest thing to bear. It's sometimes it's so unbearable, the pain.
And I'll be the first one to tell you that it's very possible that if Representative Goodwin or Representative Bowers or Representative Vice Chair Johnson or Chairman Moody had filed a raise the age bill during the last session of the legislature or the session before, I probably would have voted against it. And I've said that publicly. But at 11:30, más o menos, on May 24th of 2022, everything changed. It changed for me because at about 11:30 in the morning on that day, and I was in Uvalde that day, a shooter walked into Robb Elementary School, and within about 3 minutes, he shot 38 people. 19 students and 2 teachers died. And that changed my life.
I arrived here today at 8 a.m. And as we waited more than 13 hours, I'm reminded of May 24th, 2022, when we waited hours to be told our daughter would never come home. I expressed confusion then, and I'm perplexed now. Did you think we would go home? Our hearts may be broken, but our resolve has never been stronger. 21 for 21, let's raise the age. Tess didn't have a choice in life or death, but you as leaders have a choice of what my daughter's life will be remembered for. Will she die in vain, or will her life have saved another child, maybe your child? 18 to 21 isn't much to ask. As a grieving mother, I'm begging you to please hear me out and don't let my daughter's murder mean nothing to you.
I'm a gun owner. I believe in the Second Amendment right. I'm a concealed carrier. So, again, we're not here for that. All we are asking is for reasonable common gun sense laws.
I did not prepare a speech for you guys today. I'm just a mom. I'm not even sure which one of you exactly, or sometimes are Democratic or Republican, because I don't care. I just don't want any of you to sit here where I'm sitting. I don't want you to have to identify your child's body based on what he was wearing to school that day.
Thoughts and prayers. I'm so sick of hearing those 3 words from our elected officials. While your prayers may have comforted you, they did nothing to absolve our pain. While you may think about May 24th, we live it every single day. While you pray that your children grow up to be healthy and happy, contributing members of society, we pray that our children knew we were doing everything we could to get to them in that school to protect them. Your thoughts and prayers didn't stop an 18-year-old from purchasing 2 high-powered semi-automatic rifles and all of those rounds of ammunition. Your thoughts and prayers didn't stop us from having to bury our children and 2 teachers. Your thoughts and prayers do not help the children that survived, that were injured. Your thoughts and prayers are empty. Legislation is not. Thank you.
Listening to them tell their stories and say they weren't just going to go home, they were going to have their say, that was inspiring. So I think 2 things can be true at once. One is that what those families are experiencing at the Capitol is a farce. Nothing that they're really pushing for is going to happen. But the other thing that's true is their voices do matter.
Any chance of any of these bills making it to the floor of the House or the Senate?
Absolutely not. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has not said this specifically, but he is in no mood to bring any gun control measures to the floor. I don't think Republicans are in the mood to even have record votes on the floor about these gun control measures. I would not expect it to be set for a debate before the session is over.
There being 8 ayes, 5 nays, and 0 present not voting, the motion.
It didn't change history, but for that moment, they had peace. They had, just a small answer to the question and potentially a big answer to a solution. And I was excited for them. And certainly, tears welled up in my eyes. And as I hugged all of them, I don't want to defeat, the excitement of the parents that saw the bill and were all these emotions were brewing in them. I don't want to defeat that. But at the end of the day, I think it was an exercise in futility. I think it was just an exercise just to simply, again, take the attention away from what happened in Allen, take the attention away from the assault weapon itself.
The lack of legislative progress is not a deterrent to these families. If anything, they are as committed to honoring and fighting for the 21 lives lost as they have ever been. As we leave you tonight, we want to leave you with those 21 names and faces. A year ago, we made a promise to remember their names. That promise does not end tonight. For all of us at KSAT 12, thanks for joining us.